Now, I would also look at the long-term negative effects of cannabis misuse. Now, the long-term negative effects of cannabis misuse include an impaired attention and concentration. You find that these individuals find it difficult to pay attention to their jobs or in school, if they're in school. They find it difficult to concentrate on any task for long. Some of them experience impaired memory. Some of them develop this decreased processing speed of information activities or decision making. Their reaction time becomes slower. Now, we also have them experience what we call amotivational syndrome. They really do not have any desire to do anything. They have no desire to work. They have no desire to carry out any activity, to plan for the future, to do anything at all. That's one of the commonest symptoms that happen with long-term abuse of cannabis. Now, when cannabis is introduced, when an individual is introduced to cannabis at a young age, when the individual is an adolescent or very young adult, they tend to have a problem with having good education at the end of the day because they spend most of their time absconding from lectures, hanging out in parties, smoking cannabis, and are unable to meet up with their expected attendance or acquire the expected knowledge for them to pass their exams. And this is one of the major problems a lot of parents are facing who send their children to the universities, especially individuals that are sent as adolescents or very young adults. They have decreased educational attainment and they are often unable to get to the heights in their occupational careers. Now, another thing that is very, very obvious in those that are long-term users of cannabis is that cannabis has the capacity to induce psychosis, anxiety, and may or mask, schizophrenia in one who has the genetic predisposition to schizophrenia. Now, it also has a tendency to worsen bipolar disorder, to trigger major depression, and then suicidal ideation, especially in young adolescents, young adults who abuse cannabis. There are a plethora of physical complications that arise from the use of cannabis, and these physical complications could affect the lungs, could affect the reproductive organs, and various systems in the individual's body. Now, we also see that for pregnant women who engage in smoking cannabis and getting intoxicated with cannabis, they tend to expose the fetus to hazards which result in low-term weight babies or preterm babies. And then again, some of these babies end up having neurodevelopmental disorders such as intellectual disabilities. You find these babies not able to function optimally at the appropriate age. These are some of the issues that we have with babies born to mothers who abuse cannabis. Now, there's something we need to note. Now, with persistent abstinence from cannabis, people who have already developed these long-term effects may experience partial improvements. Now, for psychotic disorders and some other neurodevelopmental effects, they may be persistent or irreversible. So the point of this particular episode is to enlighten us that cannabis is not just that plant. It's not just that plant you can just add to your food or use to make tea or whatever. There are consequences, severe consequences in some cases, and dangerous ones at that. When you consume cannabis, when you decide to become irresponsible with the use of cannabis, when you begin to depend on cannabis, there are consequences. in as much as you experience that temporal euphoria that some people think some people say they experience creativity. That's why we have a lot of musicians and artists, using cannabis. But they forget that those effects are temporal. The negative effects are more long lasting. So it's not just about the long or short arm of the law catching up with you. It's not just about the police catching up with you. It's about the fact that you're endangering your life. You're endangering yourself. So please, the essence of this episode is to enlighten us on the dangers of cannabis use and abuse. Now, it's better to avoid even being a recreational user so you don't fall into the category of the harmful users or the dependent users. Hope we're able to learn a lot. So if you've had any experiences or any challenges with cannabis use, please do indicate in the comment section, and we'd love to interact with you. So please, if you know any relative, any friend, anyone at all within your circle or in your neighborhood who is having challenges with cannabis use, do get them to interact with us, to get them to reach out to us, to get them to watch our videos, and to get them to seek help. Now, in the next video, we'll be talking about opioid abusers and the opioid use and misuse. And then after this episode, we'll now talk about the healing journey in substance misuse and abuse. I hope you gained a lot, and I hope you've also gained a lot from this video. I hope you gain a lot in our subsequent videos, and I would want you to reach out to all who you think need to listen to this so that we can sanitize our society and so that we can help those that need help. Thank you. So we'll be seeing again in our next episode. Till then, it's bye.